somehow March has ended and April has begun. Now, this video was supposed to come out last week, but I was feeling a little bit rushed and behind, and instead of rushing to get it done, I decided to just take a little break and upload it this week. I love a clean house, which is hard to do when you have lots of little ones under tow. Having a house organized just makes it so much easier and to have just more mental capacity. For me, it can be really challenging. After the weekend, things just tend to pile up. We're outside a lot, we're going from event to event, and it can be a very busy time. And so the house can get quite dirty. And so Mondays are my go-to cleaning days. And I wanted to kind of take you through not just me cleaning, but making my own homemade cleaning products. I have been doing this now for almost 13 years. When I started my blog, again, almost 13 years ago, which is just wild to me at this point. But when I started my blog, it was because I had just gotten married. It was the first time I was really living on my own, paying my own bills. And I honestly was terrified. I didn't know how we were going to pay the bills. I was in grad school getting my degree in nutrition. My husband had an all-commission job. He never knew how much he was going to make each month. And it was a really stressful time for me. Looking back at it now, we were always provided for, everything was always okay. But in my brain at that point, I just was afraid we were not going to make it. We were going to go into a lot of debt. And I started trying to pinch pennies any way I could. And one of those ways was making my own cleaning products. I couldn't fathom seeing the pricey cleaning products. I mean, I had purchased them when I was in college and stuff. Obviously, I still cleaned. But seeing the pricey cleaning products and how quickly we went through them, I just was there has to be an easier way. So I started creating my own. And here, this is actually a newer recipe because this is the first time I've had stone countertops in my life. But I started making granite cleaner recently, and it is so simple to make. It is literally rubbing alcohol, a little bit of dish soap, water, and you could add some essential oils like lemon or orange if you'd like to. It helps get rid of extra gunk if you have anything especially sticky. And it's so easy and so cheap. And it's so much cheaper and so much healthier for you than, say, going to the store and buying something that has tons of chemicals. And it works amazing. And on the blog, I have so many recipes from laundry detergent to dish soap to furniture polish, pretty much everything you could need to clean your house, all naturally. I actually even have an ebook. If you want to look in the description box below, I will link it. It's totally free, but you can grab my ebook on some of my favorite homemade cleaning recipes. Another thing that I've made, and I have made this forever and ever, is homemade hand soap. It is literally 2 ingredients. You could add more if you'd like to. And it is so much cheaper to make. A tiny little bottle like that, the ones I'm showing, are $4 or $5. And we go through them so fast in our house because we're constantly washing our hands because we live on a farm. But we go through them so fast that it just doesn't make economical sense to continue to buy them. All you need is castile soap and water and then a special foaming hand soap dispenser. In this case, we actually had some for a really long time, but they broke. And so we replaced them with store-bought ones, and then we just use those to refill it. So that is also another option. Whenever the weather finally gets warmer, I just have the strong desire to clean the windows. I think after the winter and just everything being closed up and dusty from the wood fire, they just really need a good cleaning, and then you can just open them up. It's so nice. I also make my own homemade glass cleaner, which you can find that recipe over at ablossoming.life.com. And honestly, you probably could just use the granite cleaner because it's a lot of the same ingredients. You need a little bit of the rubbing alcohol because it gives it a streak-free shine. So I would just go over there and check out that recipe as well. And it is so simple. I actually have been using the granite cleaner to clean my windows, and I'll just kind of spray everything down with the exact same spray. So it just makes it really nice and convenient. While we do daily pickups every single day just to keep the house tidy and look a little nicer and a little bit more organized, this deep cleaning always just feels so refreshing. Just things like wiping down the chalkboard or making sure the homeschool supplies are organized, or the craft closet, things that tend to pile up and get really messy because people, when they're cleaning up, they just throw them in there. That just always feels really nice. And I like to do that multiple times during the year, and spring is the perfect time. On one of those days where you can just open up the windows, let the fresh air in, it's a great time to organize the whole house, because it's not like, at this point, it wasn't so nice that I want to be spending a lot of time outside quite yet, and in the garden. And so I have a little bit extra time to get the house ready for spring and summer. During the summer, we try to spend as much time as possible outside and less time inside. One, this keeps the house cleaner, which is really nice, but also we need to be able to enjoy the beautiful weather, especially when it rains here like 5 months out of the year. We just crave the sunshine, and so being able to be outside all the time is something we really look forward to. And so this is also a really good time to kind of go through the toys, make sure we're decluttering as much as possible to keep the house organized so that things don't always turn into such a big mess. Something I've noticed is like the more things we have, the messier it feels, because then we need more places to put those things. We need to constantly be picking those things up, especially when you have kids. Like, they like to use toys, or they dump out the toys to get to the toy they want, and then they just leave messes everywhere. It's kind of like one of my biggest pet peeves is dumping toys. And so I'm constantly going through them, like, what are we using? What are we not? What can we get rid of? On this day, I also made some calendula oil. I had some dried calendula. It is something I grow every year and I dry it. But you just add it to a jar and then you top it with olive oil or jojoba oil or whatever oil you like to use. And then you let it sit for a few weeks so that it infuses. And then you can use this for skincare. You can use it for makeup remover. You can use it to make salves, things like that. And it's something I always love to have on hand because I just love calendula oil, and it's a lot of anti-inflammatory properties and things like that. One thing I do not make is homemade floor cleaner. I probably could. I could figure out a recipe. So I use the Bona floor cleaner and spray system too, so it's refillable. And I love it. It works great. It doesn't have a scent. It doesn't feel like it's like super fumey. I'm a little bit more natural side. So I do really like that one. For a non-caffeinated afternoon pick-me-up, I have really been enjoying some spearmint tea. Now, this is something I probably should grow, and I need to maybe plant this year, but it's really uplifting and it gives me a little bit of energy without having to worry about it keeping me up all night like I would if I drank coffee at 2 o'clock. And I needed a little bit more of a push to get things cleaned because I needed to clean the dishwasher. Did you know you need to clean your dishwasher filter? I did not know this for many, many years. And I feel like we go through dishwashers really fast because we use them so much. And so I have been trying to keep up on cleaning them better and keeping it in tip-top shape so that it lasts longer. But there's a little filter at the bottom of your dishwasher that you should pull out, and once a month you should clean it. And I just spray it, and I also scrub it with a little bit of soap and water, and that just does the job. And then you can just put it right back in, and it works great. And sometimes if you're having like a clog or something, that could be where it is. It could be stuck in the screen. And I have found that many times. This screen at the bottom of our sink is really, really challenging to clean, and my husband really dislikes it, but I know that if I were to take it out and not use it, that the sink would definitely crack. And so we have to keep it there. And I just have been using a scrub brush to clean it out. It does not fit in our dishwasher. So that's unfortunate because I think that would have been a lot easier to clean. You could just stick it in the dishwasher and let that do its job. Well, we can't. So I just use a brush, and while I'm cleaning out the sink, I try to scrub it as best as I can. For a natural sink cleaner, I like to just sprinkle a little baking soda and use a little bit of lemon essential oil and some dish soap. And lemon essential oil, if you've never used it in cleaning, really helps get rid of gunk. You can actually use it to remove adhesive as well. You could just put it on adhesive that's like stuck on like a glass jar or something and let it sit for like a minute, and then it will come out really, really easy. So it's a great gunk remover, and I highly recommend it to add it to sinks and things like that you are trying to remove a lot of soap scum or like that. I also use this in the shower a lot too. I'll use baking soda and hydrogen peroxide and some lemon essential oil and soap, and that is what I clean my shower with, and it really gets rid of soap scum. One thing about living in the country and being on well water is that our well water, at least, has a lot of minerals and a lot of mineral buildup. And so cleaning out the dishwasher and getting it nice and fresh and clean and helping get rid of some of that mineral buildup is helpful for the longevity of the dishwasher. So I have this super old recipe on my website for homemade dishwasher detergent with really, really terrible photos. And so I decided to make this homemade dishwasher detergent and retake the photos this day. And it is so simple to make. It's really, really inexpensive. And this was one of the things that I did to try to save money and pinch pennies. And it is just washing soda, borax, and citric acid. I like to add a little bit of dish soap to each load, like the tiniest drop. I just feel like it really helps get them clean. Oh, and you need salt. So that is something else because it helps break down the mineral buildup as well. But then you just mix it up and add it to a jar and then use it for each load, and it works great. Thank you so much for joining me today on a little day in the life cleaning edition and just how I clean my house during the spring. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and come back next week where I will share more delicious recipes and easy DIYs.